None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Memorial Day is an American holiday observed on the last Monday of May. The propaganda that we've all been fed and that most continue to propagate and regurgitate year after year like unthinking drones is that Memorial Day is a day set aside to, quote, honor the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military to defend the freedoms that we all enjoy today. Freedoms. Freedoms like being forced to pay property taxes or risk being evicted and thrown into a cage. Freedom to not grow or possess a certain plant or be fined, caged, and murdered. Or freedom to have 30 to 50% of your laboring energies plundered through the extortion practice known as the income tax. Are those the freedoms historians and propagandists are talking about that our servicemen and women supposedly died to protect? Originally known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day began in the years following Lincoln's federalized power grab, initiated with a false flag at Fort Sumter, which served as the catalyst and justification to spark the Uncivil War. On May 5, 1868, General John A. Logan, leader of an organization for Northern Civil War veterans, called for a nationwide day of remembrance later that month. He wrote, quote, "The 30th of May, 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion," referring to the attempted secession of the southern states, "and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land." Memorial Day became an official federal holiday in 1971. Many Americans observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries or memorials, holding family gatherings, and participating in parades. Unofficially, it marks the beginning of the summer season. Now, people claim that it's disrespectful to proclaim the truth regarding the realities of Memorial Day and the reasons it began. But since there would be no Memorial Day if there were no wars, which literally affected and destroyed millions and millions of families, and since truth is the first casualty in any war, because the shroud of deception surrounding war is what beguiles the masses into supporting its horrors and bearing its expense, boldly proclaiming truth is absolutely vital and has to be the most honoring and respectful thing you can do when remembering the real reason all these people died. Continuing to maintain the lie and the glorification of war that Memorial Day serves to deceptively and successfully accomplish is absolutely vital to insulating the banking elite and their corporatocracy from public scrutiny and outcry. The glorification of mass murder, called sanctioned warfare, which serves as the justification to defend democracy, which is what Memorial Day is, allows evil men to continue their operations with public support. In other words, to support the lies that swirl around Memorial Day is to obscure the truth about why most of these soldiers died. It wasn't to secure freedom or restore democracy, a word with a meaning that viciously attacks individuality. It was to enrich and empower bankers. Let the words of the most decorated Marine at the time, Major General Smedley Butler, be read to every serviceman and woman and family that lost loved ones in the horrors of war so that we can stop this insane cycle of mass murder. War is just a racket. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to the majority of people. Only a small inside group knows what it's about. It is conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the masses. I believe in adequate defense of the coastlines and nothing else. If a nation comes over here to fight, then we'll fight. The trouble with America is when the dollar only earns 6% over here, then it gets restless and goes overseas to get 100%. Then the flag follows the dollar and the soldiers follow the flag. I wouldn't go to war again as I've done to protect some lousy investment of the bankers. There are only two things we should fight for. One is the defense of our homes, and the other is the Bill of Rights. War for any other reason is simply a racket. There isn't a trick in the racketeering bag that the military gang is blind to. It has its finger men to point out enemies, its muscle men to destroy enemies, its brain men to plan war preparations, and a big boss super nationalistic capitalism. In reality, what he's talking about is corporatism or crony capitalism. It may seem odd for me, a military man, to adopt such a comparison. Truthfulness compels me to. I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service as a member of this country's most agile military force, the Marine Corps. I served in all commissioned ranks from second lieutenant to major general. And during that period, I spent most of my time being a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street, and for the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism, which is corporatism. I suspected I was just part of a racket at the time. Now I'm sure of it. Like all the members of the military profession, I never had a thought of my own until I left the service. My mental faculties remained in suspended animation while I obeyed the orders of higher-ups. This is typical of everyone in the military service. I helped make Mexico, especially Tampico, safe for American oil interests in 1914. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in the raping of a half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. The record of racketeering is long. I helped purify Nicaragua for the international banking house of Brown Brothers in 1909 to 1912. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for American sugar interests in 1916. In China, I helped to see to it that Standard Oil went its way unmolested. During those years, I had, as the boys in the back room would say, a swell racket. Looking back on it, I feel that I could have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do was operate his racket in 3 districts. I operated on 3 continents. Guys, no one is more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they're free. War is a racket, and every war is a banker war, complete with false flags to stir up national indignation and support for every single war effort. And holidays like Memorial Day, in which the bankers have sold you on the idea of the justification and glorification of war, is a deception that strengthens the chains of our slavery. And it's past time that we break those chains and realize true freedom of the mind and put a halt to the gears that drive the grist mills of war. If you guys get something out of these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give them a thumbs up, share them with everybody you know, and don't forget to get on my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. 10 hours after I upload this video, I'm going to send every subscriber on the list a free ebook. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. If you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Also, check out over 100 hard-hitting designs in the shirt store, and if you want to support more content, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal. All those links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.